From the studios of Tucson Business RadioX, recorded in the Stewart Title corporate offices on Broadway, you are now listening to The Mark Bishop Show. And now here's your host, Mark Bishop.
And welcome to another Mark Bishop podcast. The U.S. isn't doing enough testing to control COVID-19. This is according to researchers at Harvard Global Health Institute, who say that we need 4.4 million tests per day to reach a basic level of proactive testing. And far more, like 14 million, is necessary to safely reopen the economy. Yet we've never managed to perform more than 1 million per day. And not to mention the COVID confusion, misinformation, and the fact that too often consumers are getting unreliable or outdated test results, rendering them useless. So my special guest is Sean Flovenski. He's the CEO of BioIQ. Welcome, Sean.
Good morning. It's great to be here, Mark.
Thank you for being here. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate this time. You're aiming to solve this crisis, correct, through a national network of labs that can bypass the significant logistic challenges others are facing. Is that right?
Absolutely. The analogy we use is the comparison between a yellow taxi cab company in a big city versus Uber. We've just got a network of labs and capability that allows us to do a lot more and a lot quicker than what the current logistics capabilities are of the core yellow taxi cab testing companies, so to speak.
Well, as the pandemic rages on, employers and health plans are looking for a better solution to testing that helps them safely return to work. I mean, this is the big issue, isn't it?
It's a huge issue, and it's a huge issue not just because scientifically there's a desperate need for more testing, but psychologically there's a big need for testing too. Just for people to feel comfortable going back out, getting back to their normal routines, getting back to work and feeling safe. We've probably all experienced sitting next to someone or seeing someone across the room and they sniffle or they have a little cough even with the mask on, and 2 years ago, you wouldn't have thought twice about it. Now you're going, oh my gosh, do they have COVID? And should I even be near them? So it's a big issue. And again, on the physical health side and the psychological side for the country.
So let me ask you this then, Sean. What issues do you see with our current testing system?
Yeah, it's two things, really. One is just having enough to be able to do the amount of testing that needs to be done. That's number one. But we're making progress on that, not just at BioIQ, but across the entire industry. The second and probably bigger issue is once you have the test, can you get the results processed and returned in a timely manner so that it's actually useful to know what your result is? To have that happen, you need to really get a test result in about 24 to 48 hours, and preferably within the same day, if not a few minutes. But we're not quite there yet on a mass scale. Right now, even the testing that is available, a lot of it doesn't get returned to people for 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days.
Yeah.
And by then, it's just too late. So it's not just the ability to get tests in people's hands. It's the ability to process them quickly enough so that it's meaningful in their lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, BioIQ, you're recognized, Sean, as a healthcare industry innovator, something with 30 years of success. You're the former senior vice president and president of Walmart Health, and you led, the launch of multidisciplinary healthcare clinics known as the Super Centers for Healthcare. You've been in the business a while. You've seen a lot of things. As we move forward, what role will testing play, do you think, overall in combating the COVID-19?
Yeah, other than the basic things you can do, like wear a mask, if you're not feeling well, don't go out and expose other people, etc. And a vaccine that's, quite frankly, even if it came out tomorrow, it's just going to take probably a year or so before you get enough people vaccinated and it's proven out enough to be meaningful. Testing is the single thing that allows people to know where they stand with their health and therefore what they should do next. So I actually think it's the long pole in the tent right now, and probably will be for quite some time until enough people get vaccinated.
So bottom line, a simple question. What makes BioIQ different than other testing companies?
I like the Uber analogy. Yellow taxi cab companies, they have a finite number of drivers and a finite number of cars, and that's all there is. With us, we have so many laboratories and test kit supply capabilities all across the country. Within reason, we have a near limitless supply to make this happen as things progress. So that's the big difference with us. We're prepared for volume based on what we do in our normal working lives at BioIQ with some of the largest health plans in the country and their membership base for just regular routine diagnostic testing. We've just applied that capability to COVID as the pandemic hit.
Okay, then. So BioIQ then conducts other health screening tests besides COVID-19.
Yeah, that's actually before the pandemic and even during the pandemic. That's our core business. We have a lot of people with chronic health conditions, diabetes, congestive heart failure, et cetera, and those require quarterly, every 6 months, or annual testing to gauge progress to see how people are progressing along. And that's really what we do.
So what's the biggest thing employers are most worried about when they return to work?
Yeah, it's things, like we work a lot in the entertainment industry, and, this is a good example. If one person might be infected and they didn't know and everyone else got exposed, then an entire TV show or movie gets shut down.
Wow.
That's a lack of revenue for the company, and that's a lack of entertainment and keeping people happy and entertained in their homes to keep the mood of the country up. So the big worry is just not knowing if people are safe to be at work or not. And that really has a big implication on whether they can produce their products and services and kind of get back to normal business if possible.
So how many tests a day can BioIQ conduct, and what's the turnaround time again?
Yeah, so right now we're at a capacity to do a little over 500,000 tests per day, and that continues to grow, and we're running right now in a 24 to 48-hour turnaround time, and we've held pretty true to that.
Well, obviously this has made it easier for employers and or other industries to return to work.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world, and you're kind of back to there's a physical side to this and a psychological side to it. Just knowing that there's something available that you can get a result back quickly and it's easy to do makes people feel more comfortable, let alone knowing what their real results are.
So how does this now, propagate out into the public? To me, how do I get involved? How can I get tested like this? How do we know where to go?
First stop would be to our website at BioIQ. That's BIOIQ.com. And then secondly, any of the state websites, government websites are going to have testing centers and locations. Your local doctor's office and urgent care centers, many of those have drive-in testing. Just drive up in the parking lot, let them know you're there. They'll come out to you. And so a lot of ways that you can get testing done today. And BioIQ supports many, not all obviously, but many of those outlets.
Really, you've a national network of labs. It sounds huge. It sounds like you're all over the place.
Yes, the benefit of that is we're everywhere. The downside is we're everywhere, and you got to keep up on that and manage it really well, which I think we do a good job of. But it's a Herculean task in this pandemic, but we're up for it. We know it's important to the country.
Oh, my word. So what does the future look like, do you think, Sean, for diagnostics? And how, is BioIQ paving the way for this area?
Yeah, so, I think our model of, I'll come back to the Uber analogy. How often do you hear people today say, I need to catch a taxi? You just don't hear it anymore. They say they're going to Uber or Lyft somewhere. And I think conceptually that's what BioIQ is doing. You're already starting to hear people go, I don't think I'm going to go to my regular testing situation, go back to my doctor, go to a traditional laboratory testing center. They want something quick on their phone. They can find a place to go. They can get it set to their home and get results back timely. And I think that's what BioIQ, and I don't want to hog all the limelight. There are a lot of other groups out there doing a lot of work trying to build these kinds of networks. We just happen to be the longest standing and the largest out there in this space, but there's a lot of work going on in the industry. That should make people feel good that over the next year or so, more testing will become available and the industry will get itself ready better.
Sean Flovenski, ladies and gentlemen, CEO and bio of BioIQ. Listen, go to the site. It's the best way to do it, even in your podgies, www.bioiq.com. A lot of reading there, a lot of good stuff. Hey, Sean, thanks for taking time out, and good luck with this.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.